My sister asked one question before my wedding, and it shattered everything. Everyone always talks about the night before your wedding, like it's this magical, soft focus moment where you're too excited to sleep. But mine felt like someone was gently tapping the back of my mind with a warning I couldn't understand yet. I had spent the whole day with my bridesmaids doing last-minute fittings, packing emergency kits, rehearsing vows. Everyone kept saying how glowing I looked, how lucky I was, how perfect Ethan and I seemed. And we were perfect. At least, that's what I thought. But that night, when I finally got a second alone, my phone started buzzing. It was my sister, Mia. She wasn't sending congratulations or can't wait for tomorrow messages. Nope. It was stuff like, "Are you sure you know everything about Ethan? People aren't always who they pretend to be. Call me ASAP." I rolled my eyes because Mia, she's always been emotional, especially after her breakup a couple years ago. Her ex did a number on her, stole her wedding savings, drained her account, then vanished like a magician with her whole future. She hadn't been the same since, so I brushed her off. I figured she was projecting because she still wasn't fully healed. I didn't want her anxiety bleeding into my happiness, not the night before the biggest day of my life. But around 1 a.m., I just couldn't shake it. It felt like my body knew something before my brain did, like fate was holding its breath. And if I had listened harder, if I had taken those texts seriously instead of putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, I might have been spared what came next. But I didn't. And fate wasn't done tapping. It was about to slam a sledgehammer through my life. The next morning, I stopped by my parents' house before heading to the venue. Just a quick drop-off of some decor my mom volunteered to take. I walked in through the back door like I always do, and the second I stepped into the kitchen, silence. Mom froze mid-sentence. Mia looked like she hadn't slept at all. Their eyes met, and something passed between them. Panic, guilt, something in that family of secrets category. I joked, "What, did someone set the kitchen on fire?" Nobody laughed. Mia swallowed hard. "I need to show you something." My stomach tightened. But I still wasn't prepared for what she slid across the table. A photo. Her and some guy under neon bar lights, smiling like idiots in love. His arm around her waist, her hair longer, his face younger. But it was him. Ethan. My Ethan. At first, my brain refused to process it, like it tried to erase his face and replace it with someone else's. But there was no escaping it. The jawline, the tilt of his smile, the tiny scar near his eyebrow. I felt the floor tilt. No, that's not. Mia's voice cracked. He dated me for almost a year, and he didn't just leave me. He took everything. My savings, my wedding fund, my future. He wiped me out and disappeared. I couldn't breathe. Cold spread through my chest like someone had opened a freezer door inside me. She said she didn't recognize him at first because he'd changed so much. Different hair, different name, different life, and she never would have known. Except her phone auto-synced old pictures while she was clearing storage. The universe didn't gently reveal the truth to me. It ripped the rug, the floorboards, and half the foundation out from under me, and there was only one person who could explain. So I went to him. I burst into his apartment without knocking. He was steaming his suit for the ceremony, humming some soft song, looking like the man I loved, calm, steady, safe. When he saw my face, his whole posture changed. "What happened? Are you okay?" I didn't speak. I just held up the photo. He stared. His expression collapsed. And in that moment, I got my answer. "It's true," he whispered. "I wanted to tell you, I just didn't know how." He sat down like his legs gave out. Then he told me everything. How he was 21, broke, stupid, drowning in debts he didn't know how to fix. How he fell in with the wrong crowd. How he used people, emotionally, financially. How he thought he loved Mia until he saw her money as his only lifeline. "I was a coward," he said quietly, "and I did the worst thing anyone could do to someone who trusted them." He He said he changed. Therapy, new identity, new job. He cut ties with every toxic person in his life, including the version of himself who'd hurt my sister. "You saved me," he said. "Not with money, just by being good. I fell in love with you because you made me want to be worth something." And God, I wanted to scream. Because how do you reconcile that? How do you love someone who hurt your sister in ways she still hasn't recovered from? How do you separate who he was from who he is? I walked out without answering, feeling like my heart had been run over by a convoy. I went straight to Mia. I expected her to explode, to demand I cancel the wedding immediately, to swear Ethan was a monster. But she didn't. She was quiet, too quiet. She looked at me, eyes tired. "I'm not telling you what to do," she said softly. "I'm just telling you what happened to me." I apologized 1,000 times, but she waved it off. Then she said something that hit me like a punch. "Maybe this is fate. Not the romantic kind, more like justice. The universe made him fall in love with the sister of the woman he destroyed. That's something." It wasn't bitterness. It was honesty layered with pain, wrapped in resignation. Mia isn't the type to forgive easily, but she wasn't asking for revenge. She wasn't telling me to punish him. She was giving me the truth and letting me decide. That night, I drove for hours. I pulled over on the side of a dark road and cried so hard my ribs hurt. I kept seeing Mia's ruined savings, her empty apartment, her blank stare the week after her ex vanished. And then I'd see Ethan trembling, apologizing, begging me not with words but with sincerity. If fate really brought us together, was it to give him redemption or give my sister closure? Or was it just a cosmic accident that would tear my family apart again? I didn't sleep. Again. The next morning, the morning I was supposed to say I do, I asked Ethan to meet me behind the venue. No dress, no makeup, no music, just raw reality. He came alone, eyes swollen from crying. "You don't have to explain," he said softly. "If you walk away, I'll let you. For once in my life, I won't run. I'll accept it." And that broke something inside me. Because he wasn't begging. He wasn't excusing. He was taking accountability in a way most people never do. But I couldn't marry him. Not that day. Not with that giant wound still bleeding between our families. We postponed. People whispered. Some called me dramatic. Some said I was too forgiving. But nobody understood the complexity. We did therapy. He apologized to Mia. Really apologized, with no deflection or self-pity. Mia didn't forgive him outright, but she listened. And that was something I never thought possible. Over the months, something strange and gentle happened. He rebuilt his relationship with my family more humbly than I ever expected. And gradually, I saw the difference between a man who once ran from consequences and a man willing to face them head-on to become better. A year later, I walked down the aisle. Not in confusion, not in fear, but in clarity. Mia stood beside me, not as someone wronged, but as someone who chose healing, not for him, but for herself. And here's the truth I learned. People change. Sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better. But the real question is whether their change fits into your story or forces you to rewrite it. So now I ask you, if someone once destroyed your family but became a different person, a better person, would you give them a second chance? Or would you let the past decide your future?